What's happening, Jason? Definitely appreciate that. And I can see everything.
Yes.
I know
See clear.
nothing.
You don't have to wipe your glasses.
So
Those blue
we're
blockers?
actually going to be
Those
heading
are.
out to.
They look from the 70s, right, Todd?
Yeah, they look like blue
Those are
blockers.
ballistic
Yeah,
glass,
blue.
bro.
Are they blue blockers? Because they look yellow.
I wish.
Okay, all
You need to bring blue blockers back. Where you find those at Walgreens?
right. The dollar store.
I used to rock those when I was. Yeah, those used to be those were my drinking glasses back in college. Put the blue blockers on, you knew it was on.
Mhm.
It was
Oh
game
boy.
I
time,
can't
baby.
comment
A-
on your
Anyways, for my
eyesight,
story,
but I do like your insight.
Oh, hey,
That was
I see what
cute.
you did there.
That was cute,
oh,
y'all. Real cute. Real
I
cute.
see what you did there.
Real tactical.
We're gonna get things started today with New York, and where it's beginning to look like New York cannabis industry will be having something to give thanks for this Thanksgiving. After all, what are they going to be looking forward to? The settlement. Because according to the New York Daily News and Law 360, the lawsuit against New York cannabis regulators by a group of service-disabled veterans that stalled the opening of new legal weed dispensaries has been resolved, which should lead to the resumption of the state's long-delayed retail rollout. A lawyer for the group of vets wrote to a state appeals court Monday that they have reached an agreement in principle to settle the lawsuit. The original filing was alleged that the state programming prioritized social justice goals by first giving out licenses to people impacted by the war on drugs and their families, and they said that that was illegal. Per the article, the settlement was has yet to be finalized, but the news of a tentative agreement sparked chatter in group chats among prospective dispensary owners, offering hope for cannabis entrepreneurs who've suffered financial loss and mental stress during the 3 month long injunction. There are currently 26 licensed dispensaries operating in New York State. The rest are unlicensed shops that currently sell unregulated weed, mostly from California. Settlement agreement comes after the state's application did open up to general public as it moved towards the next stage in its rollout. The licensing window launched October 4th and will remain open until December. The settlement must first be drafted and the final version approved by both sides. A bit of good news for once coming out of the Empire State's cannabis industry, just in time for the holidays. Is this a sign of smoother things ahead for New York operators, or are they destined to trip over their own feet again and again in the near future, following the steps of the rest of us? I hope it's the former, but what do I know? I'm just Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at Nine News, and I'd like to hear from you guys. I would much rather hear your take on this one. What do you guys think? Is New York finally
I think
breaking through? Are we going to see the full force of
they're going
retail?
to stumble
Yeah,
again.
You can
right.
see
My
that, Todd?
Yeah,
prediction.
right.
You heard
What
it
do you
here
think?
first.
Yeah.
They're going to stumble and keep stumbling and then stumble some more.
100% they are. I mean, do we know any of the details of this settlement, Rico?
Is
Like, did they say when
no
these
details
stores can start to open?
have been divulged yet.
Yeah, so I'm willing to bet that they may. I'm not even.
Nope,
I'm.
they didn't say shit.
That's my point, because generally when you have a real settlement, like they'll highlight different bullet points that were
That's right.
deal points in the settlement, and so I'm willing to bet that right now that they don't even have a settlement put together. They're just putting this out there in hopes of negotiating a settlement.
I think that you asked a question, and
Well,
the
I mean,
answer
it was
to that
the
is both.
lawyers of the plaintiffs.
Is the lawyers
Yeah,
for
no, I
Yeah, the
think
plaintiffs'
Jason's wearing,
lawyers are the ones who put out the statement said that that settlement has been reached.
yeah, no, he's wearing his tinfoil hat. They didn't just put that out without having that, and maybe part of the settlement was that they don't disclose the terms of the settlement. Who's to say? But I think the answer is both. Is this a sign of brighter days to come? The answer is yes. And then does this mean that they're going to no longer step on the known landmines on the road to regulation? The answer is unfortunately no. They'll probably step on some more. Um,
I heard they're having a
but
sale on landmines in New York for this.
yeah, I mean, the UN said landmines are no longer acceptable in warfare in theaters of operation. But apparently, when it comes to rolling out regulated cannabis, it's par for the course, right? So I think we're going to see more missteps just because the notion that they would go from a flailed rollout to perfect and flawless is just too optimistic. but
Mhm.
I do think that litigation tends not to generally favor the broader industry, and hopefully people can stay out of court and just let people sell regulated age restricted legal weed.
Uh, yeah, I don't understand how they don't have any bullet points of the settlement, and how they could say that they're going to keep the settlement quiet when this has to do with a lot of public information in regards with people obtaining licenses, Yarrow. So how does that work?
Well, they have not been exactly best practices when it comes to transparency there for a long time, whether it was disclosing the funding sources or timelines, or how they were going to roll out the money that was going to be spent on a per door basis for the card applicants. I mean, New York has not exactly been super transparent. So I'm not saying that's okay, but I'm saying that it wouldn't surprise me if there was a settlement that didn't include a more thorough disclosure.
A more thorough disclosure. Interesting. Man, I don't see any shops opening any faster with this settlement in New York, mainly because there's no details involved. So it sounds like it's going to be gray and murky, and people are still going to, even probably the people involved in the settlement are probably even confused.
I'm sure they are. You know, are they behind closed doors
Well, I mean,
purposely, or are they behind closed doors because they don't want it? They really have no settlement of any kind.
Yeah,
Nothing
exactly.
to really announce.
Exactly.
Other than the case is over and we're moving on. Right.
Yep. Exactly. You guys can proceed.
Yeah,
You guys are still going to
could
have to
be.
jump through all these hoops. There's no guaranteed license for you, but you can still
right.
apply.
Right. And we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the OCM will try to do everything in its
I
power
think
to
we'll see.
expedite your
And
license.
I mean, the whole point,
Go ahead, Rico.
and to make sure that this settlement stays sealed, and to make sure that the settlement stays sealed
Mm-hmm.
too, and so
Right.
people can't get the information and see what kind of sweetheart deal that these guys got.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this sounds like all kinds of corruption. I think someone should do a FOIA request into the settlement deal.
So I've done that with in New York to get information, and they're not like, they've been somewhat responsive, but I think if I was going to grade them in terms of transparency, they'd still get a pretty low grade, because just in general they haven't done, in my opinion, a fantastic job being as transparent as they can, as consistently as they can, much less having to reach out and ask for information.
Mm-hmm. I'm willing to bet.
I don't think they have the capabilities of being transparent. They have no idea what's going on. Right. They have no idea what to report.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is so
Right.
true. So true. We ready? You got any
You know
more
what?
on this, Rico?
But I am happy for New York, and I hope
You're
I said I'm happy for New York,
Happy for
and
New York.
hopefully this. Yeah, I am, man. Yeah, they're gonna be open up. They're gonna be open up
These
dispensaries.
people are
There'll
not
be
gonna
less
be
people
opening up.
continuing to pay rent. Don't you think so?
I don't think that they're going to open up any faster with this new settlement. I think it's flawed from the gates, and the fact that there's no disclosures in regards with the settlement just makes me feel like there's extra funny business involved in this settlement.
Well, it is true that Trump was not involved in negotiating the settlement, so there'll be a limitation to the funniness that could be there.
In all fairness, I mean those crazy people in New York that are trying to prosecute him are a lot of the same people that are behind a lot of this, or at least the same type of mindset. I don't want to say it's the exact same
the
people.
liberal elitist,
Yeah, the crazy
cabal
limousine liberals, exactly.
that behind the scenes
Yep.
between the Rothschilds and Soros, they
Mhm.
are behind all of this. I know. We know.
All these
Deep state is after us.
It is. They are 100%. They're coming for you and your license, and they got
Deep
these
state
people.
with early onset.
Oh,
The
you
Jeep
guys are
state.
funny. Yes.
The Jeep state is coming to a trail near you.
Yes.
It's the vermin and the
Off-roading at
thugs
its
that live
best.
amongst
The
us.
Jeep state.
And don't forget, they smoke 2-year-old weed now. Yes, that's right. Still
The
pushing
blue
2 years
Deep
harvest.
Hey.
state.
Hey, hey.
Just saying. Just
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I was gonna take that to a place I should not take it, and then get us demonetized. But I'll keep my keep my
All
crude
right.
jokes to myself this morning, at least until we're deeper into the program.
Yeah, fair
and the
enough.
algorithms stop reading.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, because I know my story is going to trigger somebody.
We got a commercial. We're gonna just keep it rolling.
We're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.